Thank you all for being here as we announce our administration's latest effort to protect the people of Chicago from the draconian cuts and reckless actions taken by the Trump administration. My administration is implementing emergency procedures to ensure safety and security for Chicagoans that are navigating cuts to SNAP and the delays in food assistance and necessary care due to the longest government shutdown in our nation's history. We are also taking action to support our independently owned retail restaurants, the lifeblood of our neighborhoods. They're being hit by the 1-2 punch of reduced SNAP purchasing power, fear-driven drops in foot traffic from the escalated immigration enforcement, and rising requests for free and donated goods. And it is our responsibility. It's our responsibility to make sure that we have the support and stability that is needed to ensure that our families and our communities are protected. I do want to thank the following organizations for their leadership and collaboration to that are assisting our neighbors. Let me first just thank the alderman of the 29th Ward, my alderman. He gets my vote. Chris Taliaferro, thank you for being here. And then, of course, the alderman of the 25th Ward is also joining us, Byron Sigcho Lopez. Thank you, sir. Of course, Darnell Shields, Austin Coming Together. Thank you. Your leadership as the executive director has been a shining light in our community. Of course, the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Thank you, Kate. She's the CEO. Kate Mayer, thank you for your leadership and always being supportive. The Food Equity Council Steering Committee. We have Commissioners Arfa, Ige, and Green that are here with us today, managing BACP, Deputy Loda Kapai, and all of the philanthropic partners, including Chicago United Way, the Chicago Community Trust, and all, of course, the elected officials and city departments that are here today. We have our Deputy Mayor, also Interim Commissioner, Kenya Merritt is here today. Thank you. So let me just, make these points emphatically clear. That while the government reopened on Thursday, millions of Americans, including Chicagoans, are still struggling from the effects of the longest government shutdown in the history of our country. For the first half of November, the Trump administration refused to comply with court orders to provide full funding for November SNAP benefits. This meant that the hardworking people who relied on SNAP benefits to feed themselves and their families were denied the basic human right of access to food. It deepened food insecurity and it strained our city. Even as the federal government reopens, families who rely on SNAP will face steep challenges in December because of this nasty bill that was passed over the summer. They cut benefits, it tightens eligibility, and it expands work requirements. Changes that will push thousands of our neighbors off this program and leave many more struggling to afford basic food, the basic food that all of our families deserve. We know that 600,000 Chicagoans rely on SNAP as a lifeline so that those struggling to make ends meet can put food on the table. And for every meal provided by food banks, SNAP provides 9, ensuring that our children, seniors, disabled, and hard-working Americans can eat. And SNAP supports nearly 20,000 jobs in local grocery stores, farming, manufacturing, and transportation, with a $7.2 billion economic impact right here in Illinois. And that is why I am proud to sign an emergency executive order that will mobilize a citywide response that protects food access, supports small businesses, and strengthens the long-standing community-based networks that serve our residents. And with this executive order, I'm proud to announce a micro grant to meet mutual aid infrastructure needs in an effort to strengthen neighborhood-level food access, promote community resilience, and mitigate the impact that will certainly be experienced through the reduction of SNAP benefits. We will also be able to invest in food delivery services to people with disabilities. people living with disabilities in Austin and in neighborhoods all over the city. This program will successfully ensure that the community can have access to continuation of support. And as we work to expand it, this is something that, as Anton Seals articulated, we have to build these systems of care so that the community can respond to the needs and do it with expedition. In addition, through the Chicago Retail Recovery Micro Grant Program, small micro grants will be offered to stabilize and sustain small retailers across the city that have been impacted by reductions in SNAP, but it will also ensure that we're providing heightened support, particularly for our immigration community. This executive order will help to bolster the efforts of our existing Protecting Chicago initiative to help those affected by the violent, militarized immigration enforcement that ultimately came to occupy our city for months. Today, as I sign this executive order, I want to remind the people of Chicago to remain vigilant and informed as we fight this battle to make sure that we have supportive systems for generations to come. The Trump administration is doing anything in their power to dismantle the very programs and systems that have been placed in our care to protect and serve the most vulnerable residents. We are a resilient city. My administration will continue to work hard to ensure that people are aware of the expanded work that's being made available today, to make sure that people are able to maintain their benefits while also building on the community infrastructure that will be needed to support those who need these benefits the most. Now, if you have never been through these type of experiences before, as a family, if you don't know what it's like to open up a refrigerator and not have enough food in your refrigerator, if you don't know what it's like to not have enough to pay for utilities or just the basic needs, then perhaps you may not totally understand the full motivation. But one thing that I am confident about is that the city of Chicago as a whole, from one end to the other, we are standing firm, we are resolved, our fortitude will continue to remain to ensure that we protect all of Chicago against the authoritarian rule that's coming from the federal government. Today, this executive order, we are taking yet another step to keep our communities informed, to continue to make sure that they have access to food, to make sure that we're investing in businesses, developing an infrastructure that has been hit hard by the federal government to ultimately strengthen our protections for everyone. So thank you all, God bless you all, and let's sign this executive order.
Okay. Mayor Judy Wang with WGN TV. I just want to make sure I'm clear exactly what this order does. Are you providing grant money to mom and pop restaurants and stores to help in this time?
That is tested. Very well. That is correct. In fact, this is just the beginning. I'm going to continue to work with my budget director and city council to ensure that there are additional resources to continue to expand the infrastructure of this emergency order.
So if I own a mom and pop grocery store or restaurant, what is it that I'm eligible for?
So again, part of what we are offering is just a connection between now and the coming months